things I can hopefully make people think differently and do things a little bit differently.
Right. We're trying to show them a different side of things that they have never been shown or seen. But it's there, you know, it's part of our reality, and they just never touched on it. But we're here to show them that they can touch on this with ease, you know.
What's that?
It's probably hard to hear me because of my I'm on my computer, but I was just saying, like, yeah, you know, people, they need to touch in on this a little more and, like, see what we're talking about, because... What's that, brother? Can you guys hear me?
Turn up the volume on your microphone.
Okay, I just wonder if you guys can hear me at all. Like,
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, yeah, because I'm on my computer right now. It's a little different. But, I mean, I was just responding to what you were saying, Lindsay, basically, you know, trying to get people to realize this, this force, you know. None of them are even connected to it at all, period. Like, they don't even have any idea or clue. But we're trying to show them, you know. We're trying to tell them selflessly.
It's very difficult to interact with others and to help them see what you see. You know, I find that the best way is after they've done blood over intent. That's when their eyes are open to start to see things.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, I agree with that statement because I've done it, and as far as I can see, there isn't anybody that's attached to this that's around me or even close to me, you know, that's even attached.
No.
I got to reach out to you guys,
right.
You know.
Like your immediate, you know, people in. Right, and that's something I'm gonna talk about. So you're recording, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about time and money. Okay? Do you guys have some time to talk about this?
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
So essentially, that's what we're here for. So I want to just share some information with you. So it may cause you to think about things a little bit differently. You know, we're all here, blood over intent. We're here to bring forth heaven on earth and release us all from bondage. And everybody's saying that in their videos. They're writing it down on a piece of paper and smearing blood all over this intention, right? Getting rid of bondage. And what is bondage? It's time and money.
Yep.
So what do we do to get rid of time and money? So I have been out of work for almost a year now. It's been almost 12 months.
Which most zombies probably couldn't even fathom, you know. Most zombies could never fathom that.
Right.
Because I'm one of them myself. I work a lot, but
okay. Nobody is giving me any money. I do not. But I don't work, and I'm doing this for a purpose. I'm doing this to find a way. It's forcing me, you know, by being out of work and by not having an income. I still have to eat, and I still have to turn on the lights in the house, and I still have to do different things, right?
Yeah, we all do.
So how do you live and how do you exist and at the same time get rid of time and money? So one thing we need to start doing is looking at money for what it really is. Okay, it all begins with the word. The word actually creates the reality. So money, if you look at the word itself, it stems from the word moon, right? Moon, moony,
right.
Money.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking about something that is essentially dead. It doesn't have life force. It doesn't have a creative force attached to it.
Right.
When you look at the word time, because money is time.
That's why money can't save us.
Money is time, time is money. when you look at the word time and you reverse that, when you reverse the word time, you get mask. Okay, that is not a coincidence. A mask. Think about that. Like, let that sink in. Time is a mask. It's telling you it's like it's something to cover up. It's not real, right?
That's right.
And we're seeing a lot of people
Wearing masks
right now. So money is time and time is money. And the reason you need to start understanding that point is because time doesn't even exist the way it's been presented to everyone. Okay? The way it's been presented to you, which has been brought to you by those that brought us the globe Earth, okay? They brought us time as well, and fake space and all this and that. What is time? They're giving you a calendar. You have minutes, days, weeks, months, years, and basically your life has been like dependent upon that time. So when you were born into the sine wave, right? You were
That's
born
right.
into this. You were born into time and money. You were born into time. And on your birth certificate is on bonding paper. Okay, and that's important because that means you are bonded. So there is money attached to your name, whether you want to, agree with it or not. It is. They created a corporation in your name, which is your name in all capital letters. Okay, so when you associate with yourself with your name, you're actually associating yourself with a dead corpse, because a corporation is a corpse. It's dead. It's a dead entity. Okay, so all these things should be sending out, alarms in your head to say, well, that doesn't resonate with me. I'm a living being. I'm alive. I'm not only just this body, right? We are infinite beings.
That's right.
Okay. So when you understand time, then you can understand money, because they're the same thing. Okay. Money is just literally like the physical representation of time. Okay. It's green, or it's in coins, or it's in numbers on a screen, electronic format. Okay. They've converted it into electronic format. Okay. And there's probably going to be another angle to this coming up somewhere down the road.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's important to start realizing that the physical manifestation of money is literally just the fabrication of something that doesn't even exist.
Exactly.
Okay. So money is illusion. It's not real. Okay. And when you get to that level and when you understand it, you can start to control it as opposed to it controlling you. Okay?
Nice. That's how it should be.
Right now, a lot of people are saying, I don't have enough time. I have to work. I don't have enough time. If you're hearing that phrase coming out of your mouth, or you hear it from your friend's mouth or whatever, it's essentially fear, right? Because if you don't have enough time, you're saying you don't have enough of something that is an illusion. And you're trapped in that system.
Yep.
You're trapped.
It's just like a program. They programmed us to.
You've got to pull yourself out of this time money trap. Okay.
Yeah, and if they don't want to do it, but they're going to keep suffering and they're going to keep complaining about
What was that, Dan?
Yeah, I said they don't want to do that, but they're going to keep suffering and they're going to keep complaining about it. Because what does everybody need? They need money, they need time, right?
What I started to realize was, and if you believe in time, you're going to be celebrating holidays. You're gonna wish people a happy birthday. Okay, we are not aging.
No.
Okay? If you believe in aging, you're believing in death.
That's right.
If you believe in birthdays, you believe in death.
That's right.
So I don't wish anybody a happy birthday.
Right.
I literally I don't even accept if someone were to come up to me and say those words, I would just disregard it.
Yeah, like you mentioned it just a minute ago,
because I don't take that. I won't take that.
No,
on
exactly,
myself.
right.
So.
Yeah, we're infinite,
time,
like you just said, we're infinite beings. We're
right?
infinite.
It's moving in a line.
Right.
And Right. And when you accept time, and which is money, when you accept time, okay, you're accepting death. Okay? So money and time are literally, it's like a death trap. Okay? But I'm going to explain this in more detail so that you can see there's a way out of this and still have access to resources. Okay?
Cool.
So, but this kind of needs to be said so that you can I want people to start thinking like, what is time and money? Why is this thing bothering me so much? I mean, people literally constantly say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. If that is you, you're caught in the trap. You're caught in the trap, and you need to find a way to get out.
That's right.
So I've been working on this.
They have to find a way to get out of it because we've been working on this,
share, right? My experiences, so maybe it can help you.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you. So
back to time. Time is presented to you in a linear way, right? Like you might think about the day, which a day is again time, which is an illusion. You think there's a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but they don't even exist. There's no difference. You walk outside into nature. You go out into nature, there's no day. There is no day. There is seasons. There is changing of, the leaves on the trees, the way the air is circulating through. Everything is changing naturally.
Yeah, by divine order.
A very slow, kind of gradual process. And the sun is spiraling in and the spiraling out. Bringing in the seasons. That is what is going on. Time is fake. It's artificial, and it's been presented to you in the form of a calendar with boxes. Okay, so it's putting you in a box, and you're looking at your day in a linear way. You see like morning, noon, and evening, and then that time when you're supposed to go to sleep or whatever. Well, if you think like that, you're trapped because that is not exactly how things are going on. You see things happening only in a straight line, but they're actually happening in multidimensional way. And when you get rid of time and money, you can start to see that things happen very slowly and naturally, and you can work with reality and create your own reality. Okay. But if you're going to accept time and money in the way that those who brought you the globe earth have presented it to you, you're under their system. Okay. And they win because you're always tired and you don't have enough time or money.
That's right.
Okay. So it's a trap. It's a big trap.
You're right.
And so, without money, we feel like we lack freedom. We lack resources. We can't go places. We can't pay for things. We can't do things. So one of the things I started to do was realize that I'm here to get rid of time and money because that was what I wrote on my intent to bring forth heaven on earth and release us all from bondage. Bondage is time and money. So since that is my intent, what I have done is everything starts with the word. Okay, your words create your reality. Everyone has to really understand how important the word is to the creation of your reality. If you don't enjoy your reality right now, it's because of how you've created it. And you have to learn to create the reality that you want.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So I started doing reverse speech on, I started doing reverse speech because this is a very powerful tool for not only people might not understand it, but it actually does something in your brain. Like it has this effect where all of a sudden you can start seeing things that you couldn't see before. Okay.
Sure.
And when you can reveal the reverse message in any phrase, you're learning how to see what isn't even in front of you. Okay, so your brain is going through an exercise that no one in school will ever teach you because it's very powerful. Okay, There's a reason Mark Braun is doing reverse speech in every single one of his videos.
Yep. Language is a virus.
Okay, it is a powerful tool that doesn't just give you the message of that one phrase, right? But it's also like it's having an impact on.
But like you said, every word we speak is a magic spell.
See what's been hidden from you.
Yeah. We just got to realize it with our intentions because, we're not trying to say, I love you. Like, they programmed us to say, I love you to people. I love you. And then you go find out in reverse, it's we will die. Like I'm not trying to say that to anybody now. I'm not trying to tell anybody I love them. I love you. I'm not trying to say any of that stuff. And if you go and see that a lot of these things that we've been programmed and taught, just like you were just speaking about, like it's all been programmed from day one. So these people don't understand and they're just confused because of it. And I know. That's why we make videos. We got to point this shit out.
Right. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
No, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead. The stage is all yours.
No. There's a delay and
Yeah, I hear you. It's a little bit of a delay. I think the audio is okay though. The audio should be all right. But yeah, there's a little delay on the screen.
So I started reversing like phrases that are associated with money. I took every phrase I could find that dealt with money and I reversed it. And I published a video for each one that I did. And at the same time, I started accepting for value bills that I was receiving in the mail. And I'll get into that in a second here. Okay. But it was important for me to do the reverse speech on anything. I mean, you can reverse any message.
That's how you get the intention.
It doesn't have to be about money. I just did that to keep it. That was kind of like what I've been focusing on for many, many months is to find a way to have access to resources, but not be subject to bondage of time and money. Like that's what our intent is. That's what all of our intent are.
That's right.
But how do you do it? No one's told us, or no one will tell you. Really, you have to figure it out for yourself. So you have to devalue time and money. Stop celebrating holidays. Stop thinking about food in relation to time, because what do people say? It's breakfast time.
Exactly.
It's lunch time. It's dinner time. It's snack time.
It's always something. Yeah. Time is God.
How time is literally woven in. It's right. Time is woven into literally everything.
It is. Yeah. And it's like we've been programmed. Like it's just like when you go to school.
Why don't we just sleep when we're tired? Why is there a time?
These are questions people have to ask themselves because they don't even know why they're here or what they're doing.
There's these institutions that there's institutions and there's systems out there that are in place to continue to reinforce time. So if you work, you're going to be dealing with time because that is how they pay you. And that is how they recognize your worth, is your time. Okay, so you have to be careful if you're working and you're trying to get rid of time and money. You have to be careful that you don't fall victim to the spell of time and money. Okay, I'm not saying you need to quit your job necessarily. You might want to, but I'm not saying you need to do that. You just need to understand that, you know, the concept of the days and the hours, it's all a spell that's been put on you. They don't actually exist. You actually don't you don't live in this 24-hour space. It doesn't exist. It's all an illusion. Okay.
True.
So what I realized was when I stopped working, and that was just what I did. I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to do that, but I stopped working. I was making a lot of money and I no longer have an income. And I realized that my reality was being created through working, because working was like the center of what I was doing. It seemed to dominate everything, right? It was the center. And if that's where you find yourself, it's important to realize that that's not what you're here to do. You're not here to necessarily just work, right? And make money.
That just doesn't make any sense.
If you say the words,
that doesn't even make any sense. You know, to me, Lindsay, to me, obviously, because I put my blood up, but you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you're not just here to work and get old. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
You're not here for that. And you're not here for that. You have a greater purpose. And
thank you.
Everything around you, including work, school, or church, or even family members, okay? Because chances are they're not here to bring forth heaven on earth. If you have family members that are here to bring forth heaven on earth, I'm not talking about them.
They'd be pointing this out. They'd be making videos right along with us. Yeah.
But family members, school, church, and all those, and work are the very things that continue to reinforce time and money on you. And you're going to think that it's the driving force of this world, that's what you've got to do, and you can't get out of it. But it owns you, okay? You have no control over your own life.
No.
You don't even have control over what you do in your life if you're under that spell. And it's a spell because money is an illusion and time is an illusion.
That's right.
Okay. So time and money is essentially control. Now, you have to figure out that you need to get to the center, because when you're at the center, okay, you're the center of the universe. When you are at the center, now you control and you have the ability to decide what you're going to do, how you're going to use your energy, okay? And chances are, when you're at the center, chances are you're not going to choose to be a slave, okay? I don't think anybody would ever choose that.
No.
Right?
No, you're right.
So money is funny. Now I want to talk about this other aspect of money, because a lot of people think of money in terms of the economy. Okay, how many times do you hear about the economy? And how many times do you hear about Wall Street, or the value of money, or all these sorts of things, right? But have you ever been able to observe the economy? Have you been able to observe the stock market for yourself?
Not only that, but yeah.
Do these things even truly exist?
No, they don't. And that's awesome. You're explaining them the way you are, right? Because, it's like, even though everybody's been conditioned to believe all these fake things and accept all these fake things, like they still can't even see past this as it being fake and, working against it because really it's not even real, You just have to realize it. It's all a program.
Exactly.
You've been programmed. Exactly right. You've been bamboozled.
Exactly. You've been, and you're trapped in the time, money, and it plays off each other, and you don't have enough time, and you don't have enough money. If you're in that trap, you've got to figure a way out. And here is what's important to learn, is that the economy is always presented to you in a global perspective. Well, hello, there is no globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no globe.
Right.
We don't live on a spinning ball.
No.
If we don't live on a spinning ball, how can there even be a global economy?
Exactly. Because everything's like kind of programmed that way, just like time and money.
It starts with the word.
It's all been programmed on us.
This is all about words. So what I'm trying to say is think of money as in your control, okay? You have access to it, and you don't have to think about it in terms of the entire world, okay? Whatever that means to you. And a lot of people think of it in terms of how the news is going to present the economy and the state of the economy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you listen to the news and you follow current events, you're going to be programmed with a false message that basically puts you into fear and causes you to go and put yourself right back in time and money, the trap of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the globe and the economy and all that, again, it's a fabrication. It's been fabricated so that everybody feels that there's this global thing going on. Now, it's more like you are at the center of the universe, but we're also in a collective consciousness. We're all here together, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's more of a truer representation of what's going on in this reality than the global economy. Okay. So we're here to get rid of bondage. If we're here to get rid of time and money, you have to figure out a way to control the money that's coming into you or that you have access to so that you own it instead of it owning you.
Exactly.
So, okay. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes total sense to me. Because most people could never think they could work against this, but you really can.
The topic I want to get into.
Sure.
Right. I mean, if you're following the news, you've got to remember, it's a very dangerous exercise to follow current events. I will occasionally check a news feed, but it's for comedy, okay? I'm laughing my ass off.
Right, I hear you.
Right? It's comedy. Everything is scripted and fake. So if you're following current events and you're following the news and you believe that that's going to happen, you're creating it to happen.
It's funny all the crazy shit they will believe, but they won't believe that they're actually living gods and goddesses, People need to realize they're living gods and goddesses. They don't even realize it, and time and money is the reason for it. They need to start addressing themselves as gods and goddesses. They're living, Put your blood up. Show proof of life. On the
And
Ethernet.
once you put your blood up, you're going to start to see things, but you have to constantly, yeah, and exactly. And once you do that, that's not all you do, and then it's over.
No.
I mean, you have so much work to do.
You're going to start uncovering.
Viruses that have been running your life.
That's why Mark says it's going to take you years to catch up.
It's going to take you years to catch up because there's so much virus running through you. And if you're still running around saying, I don't have time and I don't have money, guess what? That virus has got a grip on you. Okay? So it's something, it's telling you, it's not something to be afraid of. It's telling you, get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and virus needs a host. You're the host. Mm-hmm. You're running around saying, I don't have enough, but it doesn't even exist.
Exactly. Yep.
So, the reason it's fake is because, and I know this from personal experience, because I haven't paid a bill for months and nothing, you know, I have electricity, I have heat and cooling, I have access to food, I have water, I have shelter, okay? But I am not paying, you know, credit card bills or any bill that comes from a corporation. I'm not paying them with money, okay? I've done this with accepted for value, okay? And accepted for value is essentially a remedy. It's a lawful remedy. It's a valid transaction. You should do research on it. You should look it up. It's called accepted for value, okay? And when you accept a bill for value, what are you doing? You are essentially discharging the debt, because that bill that they're saying you owe, it's already debt. It's being passed, it's debt that already exists. It's being passed to you in your name, in your corporation name. Not even this, it's not even coming to you as a beautiful infinite being. It's coming to your corporation name, your name in capital letters. You have to recognize that a corporation was created in your name at birth, which is why you have a birth certificate. Why do you even have a birth certificate? You don't need one. You're born, you're here, you know. But the reason you have one is so that you could be part of this slave system. Okay? So when you recognize that you don't want to be a part of that system anymore, what I did was I started accepting bills for value. And I'm accepting bills for value that come from corporations, that come from financial institutions, banks. I'm not going to accept for value something that if I owe an individual money, I'm not going to say I accept that for value. No, I'm going to pay them with my credit card. They get paid. So let's say someone comes over to my house, a handyman, has to fix something, and they now say, you owe me $200. Okay. I'm going to pay that person with a credit card. Okay. And that credit card is debt. It doesn't even, there's no money in it. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake. But I'm going to pay them with the credit card. They get paid $200, right? And then later on, I get a bill from the bank, from the credit card company saying, you owe me $200 plus whatever interest. Okay, well, that's where I accept it for value. The guy, the handyman, got paid. The handyman got his money. He did his work. He put his heart and soul into the work he did, and he got paid. That's a person should be paid for what they're doing, right? If they come in and work,
that's
they
right.
should be getting paid. But I'm sticking it to the bank. I'm not, accepting this false structure of time and money that's coming from the bank or the credit card company. And that's where I'm accepting it for value. So what you do is you I made a stamp that says accepted for value. And, you know, it's a self-thinking stamp like that. Or you can write it. You can write it down. Basically, I stamped the bill accepted for value, and I write some other words on it that I will explain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm accepting a bill for value. I'm not paying money to this corporation. The handyman got paid, right? The handyman got paid his $200. He's happy, and I'm happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by the time the corporation comes around and says, hey, guess what? You owe us $200 plus the interest. That's where you can accept it for value, because they are operating in debt. They don't have any money. That bank does not have money.
Exactly.
They are passing debt back down to you and saying, now you owe them money, but that's debt. So that's where you discharge it. So it's basically stopping. It's a stop to the system right there. Okay. And you stamp it, accept it for value. You write a few other words on it, which I will explain. And you mail that payment coupon back to the credit card company. And you're not sending them any money. Okay. They're not going to like that because they want money.
Exactly.
But let me tell you something.
A big but.
It doesn't matter. It is a valid, lawful transaction.
That's awesome.
What was that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Valid, lawful transaction. Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, just saying, like you said, they will, you know, obviously.
It is a lawful remedy.
Right.
Research it.
Yep.
Now I want to also say a couple things about doing this. I am not doing this for purposes other than bringing forth heaven on earth. I'm here to get rid of time and money. I don't want to be rich and there's people on the street that can't even find a place to sleep at night.
Exactly.
Okay, that's not what I'm doing. I am getting rid of a system that is corrupt. But why is it that way? Because we've accepted it. And the system is actually hoping that you're going to be doing this. Okay, you're going to get positive reinforcement for getting rid of this virus. You're going to find that you actually get access to resources to do this in ways that you will be blown away.
Wow.
Okay, so while the credit card company doesn't like not getting paid, you're likely to start to see some positive results in your life in other areas that are, you know, really benefiting you and your loved ones.
Right.
Okay. So you're discharging debt that already exists. Don't think of it as, oh my God, I didn't pay my bill. You took care of it. Accepted for value, basically just it's over, right? It's done. You've accepted it for value and you mail it back to them and it's done. They're going to look at that and they're going to be upset and they're going to send you, oh, you didn't make your payment. Now we're going to charge you a late fee. So they're going to send you another bill. Fine. Accept it for value and send it back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
You have to be consistent. You have to be strong, and you have to not have any fear that anyone is going to come out after you. Okay? I would not recommend you do this if you fear collection agencies, if you fear police officers or whatever, I don't know, whatever, authority. If you fear these false representations in our reality, I don't recommend you do accepted for value, because what happens is the credit card company is going to put you into a system where you didn't pay them the money. All they want is your money. They're operating in debt, but they want your money. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have money, but they want your money. Okay? It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And if you accept those terms, you know, that you're never going to get out of it. So what I'm doing is I found a lawful remedy. Now, I'm not just ripping up the bill, throwing it away, and hoping nothing happens and saying I'm not going to ever pay a bill ever again. Okay, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it, but you have to stand in truth in what you're doing and be confident that what you're doing is a valid transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you never want to accept this notion that you are in debt, because what does that mean? If you're in debt, that means you didn't pay your bills, but you did. You accepted for value is the transaction. Okay, so there's all these, so you will get phone calls from credit card companies. You will get letters. And I never talked to anybody at the credit card companies.
Right.
I did the first time, and I learned my lesson. Like, these people don't know anything.
No.
You're talking to computers.
Like you said, yeah. Yeah, what are they going to get?
All they think about is, we want your money. There's no way. Yeah. So I get phone calls all the time, all day long. If I don't recognize that number, I don't answer. And guess what? They don't leave messages because it's a computer. You're in a system. You're in a computer system. You quote unquote didn't pay your bill. So now they're calling you. They're coming after you. But what is coming after you? It's a computer. Okay, they don't even. There's nothing there. There's nothing to be afraid of.
It's kind of funny if you think about it.
There's no one there. What's funny is.
It is. It's like what, you know, like what. It's like an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants or something, you know. Freaking no blood to spill.
So, is Dan still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I was just laughing at that whole thing there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah. I think he.
I don't know if the vid cut out or not. You still there, Lindsay? They don't want this getting out, but it's going to get out. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is Lindsay and Dan here.
Right?
Yeah, but that's where we come in, you know? We're putting a threshold on this, you know? Like, we got to be the ones to say something, do something, like, because if we don't... Mm-hmm. You're right. And that's what we are doing. We're standing firm in truth.
It really changes the reality very quickly, and
Yes.
there's a lot of reaction.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, last time we talked, we were talking about time and money, and I left off at the point where I had explained that I did accept it without. I basically accepted bills without, but I didn't. We didn't get into the part where I explained exactly what that looked like and why it's this way, what some of the issues that I've experienced after. So I kind of want to go into those details.
Okay.
That Dan?
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's what this is all about. We're getting all this documented.
basically, you know, everything you put back into older quasi-religious videos that we all watched probably a very long time ago. Okay?
Probably like 8 years ago, roughly.
So why are we paying? Why are we paying for water? Why are we paying for food? Probably like 8 years ago. Why are we paying for all these things? Why are we paying for the basic necessities that all just to live? Why are we born in this time? And one of the answers to that question, that's there's probably a lot of questions, essentially the answer is time, and we have always accepted this global economy, just like we had accepted lots and lots of lies in all areas, right? Everything you know is a lie.
Yes. Everything is the reverse of truth.
Okay. And when you're silent, everything is the reverse of truth. Exactly. So your silence is consent. So when you wake up and you wake up to flat Earth, you can start unraveling all of the lies. And one of the biggest, most controlling, difficult lies that we have to shed and then subvert and basically reverse to spin it back on itself again is time and money, right? That is the biggest, probably most controlling virus that we're all kind of grappling
Susceptible to. Yep, because you're going to go to work on time. You're going to pay your bills on time. You're going to pick your kids up from school on time.
Right.
Like everything, yep. It's all woven into our reality, time and money. And money is the money sign is the sign we were born into. We weren't born into sin. We were born into sign. It's the sin wave, the sine wave. Right. But that was kind of cool. I think somebody was mentioning too how. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that happens. No, go ahead, Dan.
Like I think how they were mentioning with the wave of the money sign, like there's something to do with that too. Like with the sine wave, you know, with the money, it's a currency, you know, like it's deep, you know, and the only real currency that we know and that we have is our spiritual currency, which is our blood, you know, and that goes way deeper than what we're talking about, obviously, of time and money. But people need to realize, like, your only real currency, your true currency, is your own blood.
Right. Right. Except no one will ever tell you that, right? No one will even understand that. It's not until we came to the realization of blood over intent that we recognize what the true currency is, and everything will change in your reality after you go through that.
Yeah, and it's not a bad change. It's a change for the good, you know?
More than once after that.
Right.
You should do it.
You should. You should want heaven on earth. You should hope Mark Brown's here in the flesh.
Flat Earth is that. Right. The whole thing about flat Earth is the global economy does not exist. You know, you're on flat Earth and you can see that the Earth does not have curvature, and you've decided that for you the Earth is flat. And a lot of people think of flat Earth in terms only of geography.
Like you're going to fall off.
Or the shape of reality, literally the shape.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you also have to think about, you also have to think of like the mental parts of flat Earth. So every time you turn on the news, you'll see evidence of the globe. Okay, they're giving you a weather forecast. Well, what is the weather forecast? First of all, they're forecasting the weather. It's a cast. It's like they're casting spells, giving you weather giving you what it's going to be. They're literally creating what it's going to be. And because everybody listens to it and believes that that is what is going to happen, they're creating what is going to happen. So your thoughts and your words that come out of your mouth, those are all things. They result in creation of reality. So that's why it's so important to understand how thoughts and words create reality. So it becomes a very intense mental, undoing that you're going to go through. Your money, the money that you have access to should be your own economy. Should be what's in your possession, what you have access to, what you do, how you get it. You shouldn't necessarily, it doesn't matter what someone is saying on the news with regard to this so-called economy, this so-called stock market.
It's a con. They're conning you.
If it's not something you're dealing with directly, does it even apply to you? Well, the answer should be no, right? So our silence has been consent, and because we haven't said anything about money or time, a lot of us have just been going along with it. And I was looking for a way to literally stop the cycle. I was on a cycle. You can think of the cycle as like the hamster running around the hamster wheel. It's literally spinning out of control, going nowhere.
Going nowhere fast.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're doing when we're in the time and money trap. We are spinning our wheels, going crazy, and getting literally nowhere. There might be some points along the way that feel really good, but then when you get that, there's always the exact opposite, which is the low part. Okay, we got to find the center.
Yeah,
and realize that we are not in control. We are not in control of our own time and our own money when we accept the global economy. So I did accepted for value, and I want to go into what that is and what it looks like, and kind of show you what it's done for me. So, like I said, accepted for value is a lawful remedy, and everyone should research this. I don't recommend doing anything, that someone tells you to do. Go ahead and research it yourself and find out if this is something that you're interested in pursuing. But it is a lawful remedy, and it is discharging debt, okay? Because money is backed by your own stupidity. Really, what that means is there isn't anything there's no essential value attached to those dollar bills that you put in your pocket, right? It's backed literally by your own stupidity. Now, why is it backed by your own stupidity? This comes from Satan himself. That's because you're not in control of it. Someone has to issue it to you, and then you're constantly returning it back. You really don't have any control over your own state and your own source of access to resources, which is what money gets you, access to resources. Okay, we're not talking about becoming rich and wealthy. It's more about having what you need and never feeling fear or anxiety. Because what comes with money and time is always fear and anxiety. Because if you run out of it or you don't have enough, you're essentially feeling a lot of anxiety. And potentially that leads to fear. And when whatever is you're feeling on the inside in your heart, that is what you create externally. As within, so without. Okay? If there's fear and anxiety about something, then it's going to manifest outside. You walk outside your house, you're literally going to run into something that turns in, that created, right? Maybe it's someone of authority that you give, if you allow authoritative figures to make decisions for you. You might run into someone like that, right?
Right.
So any kind of a fear that we have, or any anxious feeling, is really more of a nudge and, a push for you to kind of get rid of that, because, those things don't exist in heaven, right?
No.
So money does that. Money puts us in fear and gives us a lot of anxiety, because we feel like our reality and our life is dependent on it. We have kids, or we are taking care of elders, or whatever, just yourself. You're constantly wondering, how am I going to pay for this?
It's kind of funny you say that, Lindsay.
I experienced that when I quit my job.
Yeah.
Literally, like, there were times when I didn't know when I could go to the store and buy food.
Right. Like,
that's a real experience.
It is. And I can just bring up something too. Like, I could bring up an example that just happened to, like, my cousin. He just posted something about him when he was looking for a place to go stay at or rent, that in the application process, they wanted to know what kind of vehicle you drove, because they didn't want any kind of, like, beat up vehicles, like, wherever they were renting out. And that's just ridiculous, like that was part of the application process. Like, they wanted to know what year, what kind of vehicle you were driving. Like, like, you got to be able to keep up with the Joneses, or they ain't going to rent to you. Good luck.
Exactly. Right. So, yeah, that's a good example. What we have to do is getting rid of time and money is really more of a mental exercise to get rid of the fear and the anxiety that it causes when you feel like you don't have enough, or you're losing it, or time is just spiraling out of your control. These are things that are indicators to you that you need to recognize that that is a virus. Time and money are both playing off of each other, and both are illusions that appear very real. They appear to be real to you because they're being reinforced by essentially a lot of different aspects of our reality.
Sure.
So accepted for value is a lawful remedy. Again, it's a way to discharge the debt. And what I did was, whenever I got well, let me back up. Let me first start out by saying, basically, I was coming from a position of working and having a bank account and having access to credit cards and a constant stream of money flowing through. But of course, I had to work very hard to get all that money, right? When I stopped working, I also disconnected myself from all of the bank accounts and credit cards that I had accumulated over all these years, right? And basically, it's like starting over. And that was just the way I did it, to just essentially wipe the board clean and to just kind of like, okay, here we go. And I had access to about $1,000 of cash in my hand. That's all I had.
Right.
And
which
I used
really
that
isn't much.
to pay for food. Okay?
Yeah, right.
And every other bill that was coming into my house, I was accepting for value. The electricity bill, the gas bill, things like that.
Wow.
Now, at some point, I recognized that I needed to really understand accepted for value. So, and this seemed like the best way to tap into all the resources that are associated to you based on your birth certificate, which was, there was a bond set up under your name at birth. And that's, essentially infinite, right?
Yes.
So that's when I created this stamp. I've showed this to you before.
Yeah.
Accepted for value.
Yeah.
And I took all the bills that were coming into my house, and let me show you what it looks like. Basically, I'm gonna show. Okay, so can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see that, Dan?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so I would stamp accepted for value right on the payment coupon.
Okay.
And then I would write some words after it. And I'm going to go forward and explain this.
Yeah.
And then just ask me any questions, Dan.
Yeah.
It says, so the stamp says accepted for value. You could write that, but I wanted it to be
Legit.
pretty loud and clear. And
right.
I wanted it to be in red, capital letters.
Yeah, that's cool.
You write exempt from levy. Okay. What is levy? Levy is a tax or a fine.
Okay.
Okay. So you're exempt from any form of tax or fine simply because you're doing this. Then you put your signature. Then you have your signature and your date and the date that you do that. You're basically endorsing it. This is becoming the instrument itself. Okay. They're giving you a bill, and you're taking that bill and you're accepting it for value. Okay. You're exempt from a fine or a tax, and you're signing it with your signature and your date. And the date. That is endorsing it just like you would endorse a check. Okay, because this itself, let's pretend this is a payment coupon from the credit card company or any corporation that's sending you a bill. Basically, you're turning this itself into the instrument. Okay?
Sure.
And then you also write under it, pay to the order of, and then your name in all capital letters. Okay? Why is it your name in all capital letters?
Okay, is that your full name? Like, is that your full?
All capital letters is the corporation.
Okay, and that would be like your full name, like your first, middle.
That was established.
First, middle, and last, right?
At birth.
Yeah. Is that your full name? They're asking, like your full, like first, middle, and last.
Yeah. Whatever you
right.
use to.
Oh, I see. Whatever the bill is being probably named for, like they're probably going to send that bill in your name. I would probably just use that name the bill was sent to, right?
The way
is that the straw man?
I would use it in that way. Exactly.
Your straw man. You should. Yeah, it's a straw man.
Exactly. Okay. Pay to the order of your name in all capital letters.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was asking questions.
Then you write down your social security number with the dashes.
Yep.
And then your social security number without the dashes.
Okay. Why with and without? Okay.
Right under that.
Okay. Why with them?
The dashes,
yeah. Okay. There you go.
I'm going to explain why with and why without. So essentially, if you research your social security number, you'll find out that it's made up of 3 digits, then there's a hyphen, then there's 2 digits, another hyphen, and 4 digits. All of those segments of numbers actually refer to ways of categorizing, human beings, essentially. Okay? It was literally a way of identifying people, and if you research it, you'll find out that each of those sections with the dashes is actually pertaining to something else. And I'm not going to go into those details, but
Yeah.
you can look it up. When you use the dashes, that's how you typically identify your social security number when you're writing it out. But when you identify yourself in electronic format, you do it without the dashes. Okay, so this is just a way of covering both angles of your identification, with and without. That's all it is. So whenever you type in your social security number on the computer and hit submit, you usually don't add the dashes. It's just without the dashes. So you're giving back, because you're essentially communicating with the computer here. You're essentially sending it back in both formats. Okay, so whatever way they want to take it, you've covered both. And then I would add a drop of blood right there. That's my blood. Okay, and I just wrote drop of blood. Blood is your currency. Essentially, I'm putting a drop of blood on each of these payment coupons in addition to these words. Okay, so just pretend like this is the payment coupon itself, and then you do all this on it. There's not a lot of room to write it, but just find a way to get it all in there. And then this is very important. You need to take a picture of it or scan it, whichever way is easiest for you, to document that you actually conducted this. This is a transaction that I just performed, and I need to document that it actually took place. So you take a picture of it and you store it. You keep that picture on record in your computer, whatever way you organize your files.
Yeah.
Usually it's a JPEG file or whatever, but you keep it, give it a unique name so you can find it later, and just hang on to it, because you're going to need it later. You're going to need it later because they like to ignore this. Okay. So you have to document this stuff, because after you do all this and then you send it back to them, you may never see it again. Likely you're not going to ever see this again. I haven't seen one since. So, and I've done this many, many, many times. So take a picture of it and find a good way to store it and have it available for down the road, because you're going to need it later. Okay.
Yeah, keep your receipts. It's always good to have receipts. Like Lindsay, you have receipts right now. You're showing everybody proof. They always say keep your receipts, right? When you pay a bill. It's just like when you pay a bill, they say hang on to your receipt.
Yeah. You need proof. You need proof. You need proof. Absolutely need it. And a lot of credit card companies are going to want you to pay electronically.
Okay.
You need to tell them you want to be sent a bill in the mail. You want the paper version of that bill. And there's several reasons why that's important. First of all, I haven't figured out a way how to accept an electronic bill for value. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, right, because it's electronic. Right.
You can't stamp your computer screen.
No, you're exactly right.
How do you know that if you write a note on there, how do you know that they're seeing it, or that it's even part of the record? How do you know what the viewer on the other side of the computer?
Right.
What are they seeing? What are they getting? Where do you put the accepted for value? How do you say that? So, and then you can't put blood there.
No.
There's no way to put blood. And when I talk about blood, I'm not talking about like smearing the whole thing with blood and giving them just like a giant, bloody document. I'm talking about like a tiny drop.
A smidge,
like
right. You can go to like Meyer and get like
your essence,
something,
it's your
or
spiritual currency.
Somewhere like Walgreens and get like a Lancet or Lancer and just poke yourself. It's simple. It's like you're supposed to be putting a drop of blood up daily for an atonement for your filthy soul. It's Leviticus 17:11, and we should all be making an atonement for our filthy soul. I mean, nobody's going to tell you this. The church won't tell you this. The religious leaders won't tell you this. They're all swearing on a Bible, every one of them. And you look it up. It's Corinthians 2 verse 4:4. This is Satan's world.
And
so who do you think they're swearing to?
Okay,
who are they swearing to?
Blood on each one that I did. And every time I did this, I spoke my intention onto it, right as I did it. So they are receiving my intent, whether they can see it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a signature on the paper itself. Energy. It's going straight back. I'm mailing. I take the payment coupon. Just pretend this is a payment coupon. And I mail this right back to the credit card company or the corporation, whoever it's going back to. And that is how I dealt with that bill. I am not paying them money. I'm accepting the bill for value. And you can see right here, it says pay to the order of in your name. You're basically telling them, you're reversing the charge. It goes back to you. Okay? They're not going to like this. They're just not going to like that.
No.
They can't even decode this half the time because a lot of the people that are working in customer service at a credit card company or at any place that's dealing with the revenue, they are only hired and trained to collect money. They don't understand what even this is or what this means. It literally, it's just, they can't decode it. You've basically thrown a monkey wrench right into their hands. Okay, you want to do that. It's powerful, right? They won't really understand what's going on, but there's something about it that they don't like because you have put your intent. And what you're doing to the system is you're expressing to the universe and to anyone that sees this that you are no longer dead. You're a living being. You have blood running through your veins. You have blood to spill. And you're here to bring forth heaven on earth.
You're not just here to get old and die.
Money. That is like essentially what all of this is doing. Okay?
Freeing everybody from bondage.
Right, and you do this for yourself. You do this in your household, and this is your economy. You're taking back money and time. You're not being a troublemaker. You're not being a difficult person. You're basically standing up for yourself. You're no longer being silent about time and money.
Silent is your consent.
Truth, because the truth is those are lies. So that is an illusion.
Yep. Just like you were saying earlier, silence is your own consent.
Okay. So let me explain. So I after I got rid of I told you I started with about $1,000 of cash. And as that was going down, and I was accepting bills for value, and I wasn't necessarily seeing any change, right? I was expecting the credit card companies to refresh my account and take it back to zero. And that wasn't happening. So that's why you always take a picture. You keep proof of your transactions.
Sure.
And you have a good way of documenting it so that you can pull things out as you need it down the road. Because you're going to have to stand up for yourself again later on down the road. Now, I did this cycle of I'd get a bill from, because I went and got credit cards. One when I noticed that the cash was getting low.
How did you get credit
cards? And I was issued a whole bunch.
How did you get credit cards? Just like online and stuff?
For all the things.
Right, like did you just get credit cards online? Just like go, because like, you know, it's pretty easy to go sign up, I think, for a credit card, and you could get all these credit cards like you said, and yeah, okay, understand.
Right. Yeah, I just applied for them using my name, okay, that they are going to associate with a corporation, but you know who you are, right? You're not a dead corpse. You know who you are, but you have to use your name, and you have to use your social security number to get credit cards. So I'm essentially a live being. Hello, I have blood to spill.
And all of that is legal,
right? I'm alive.
All of it is legal. You can go on it. You can go on a website. Yeah, right.
Because
it's all legal. You can go right on a website and sign up for a credit card right now. What can anybody do to stop you?
They don't understand that.
Right. It's not like it's something illegal that you're doing or I'm doing. This is legal. They're telling us, like you said, they're almost telling us to do this, you know? If you have eyes to see.
Exactly. So I was noticing that, yeah, exactly.
Ears to hear.
I was noticing that I wasn't getting the balance reset back to zero for these credit cards that I had received, and I was constantly getting bills. So I was going through this cycle where I would get a bill and I would accept it for value. It's important to do it right away. Don't wait for anything. That day, take care of it, put it back in the mail, right back at them, right? Just boom, they get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, why should you delay? Why should you wait? Send it right back with the accepted for value format, and keep proof of it. And that way, you're essentially giving no time in between. You're going back through the process all over again. You're sending it right back into the mail. You're doing it by the book, okay? Because accepted for value is a lawful transaction, but the reality is they're going to try to make you think you did something wrong. They're going to try to make you think that you're a bad person, or that
but it's all a program.
Somehow going to have bad things happen to you. You know, I'm proof.
Yeah, you are proof.
It's all program. I'm proof that there's nothing bad happening.
No,
in fact,
I've been talking to you for a while now.
It has worked in several cases already.
Exactly.
Right. So they didn't reset the balance right away. So, and I kept getting bills, and I'd accept it for value, send it back through the mail. They'd send me another bill, and it was higher now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've added late fees, and I'd do the same thing, and it was like just constant, like over and over and over again. And I was documenting each one. And by the time, you know, maybe a little bit down the road, I realized that they need to be notified that I am keeping track of this and I am not letting them off the hook. So that's when I decided to write them a letter. And I drafted out a letter. I put it on like letterhead, typed it out, very professional. Okay, I'm not calling them bad names or, you know, using obscenities or telling them they're liars or any such thing. I'm communicating to them on a professional manner, and I'm letting them know that they owe me money. And I have written out essentially a letter. It's very brief. I don't get into any discussion about whether it's lawful or unlawful, because it is, and I'm operating under that established truth. So I would essentially just say, to whom it may concern, you have received the following accepted for value transactions, and I'd list them all out. I itemize each one by the date, the amount, and the type of transaction. The type of transaction is going to be accepted for value.
Yep.
And then at the very bottom of that itemized list, I would total it out. And it would come out to like this really high amount of money, like $10,000, 15, 20, whatever. Because every time they're sending you the same bill, it's getting higher and higher. And you're saying pay to the order of, okay? And they're not doing anything on the receiving end. So are you going to just let this continue? No, you've got to remind them that they're not, they're not responding to this transaction. So at the very bottom, I would write, please send a check in the amount of whatever it was to my name in capital letters, okay? And I put my social security number. Both formats.
That's powerful.
Sign it. And basically, I would print out every proof. Every picture I took of each of these transactions, I would print them out in color so you can see the red accepted for value. And you can see their payment coupon, and you can read everything very clearly, very legible. And I would attach it to this letter and send it right back to the corporation and just say, by the way, you owe me this amount of money. So what did I just do? I essentially reversed the whole scenario on them.
Yeah, basically. That's awesome.
They were expecting, they gave you a loan. They gave you a loan for the amount of the credit card. You spent it. Mm-hmm. They send you a bill. You accepted it for value. They ignored that transaction. So you did it again, and you probably did it again, did it bunch of times, and every time you're keeping track of it, they're adding to your account. Okay? So I would keep track of each of these. And then at some point I'd send them this letter and attach the proofs.
Yeah.
So it's at that point that I started recognizing that I was getting reactions. Okay?
Yeah. Right.
They're getting a letter from me saying, they owe me money. But they're not used to that. They're the ones telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something strange.
You owe them money.
Yeah, that's something strange.
Okay.
Wow.
So So one of the credit card, and I didn't realize that I would be doing this until it happened.
Yeah.
I had to constantly.
You had to test those waters.
Forward.
Right.
I knew what I was doing was lawful by the book.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not doing anything that's going to get me into trouble.
Right.
I don't recommend anybody doing this if they fear collection agencies, if they fear corporations, and if they fear phone calls or whatever. Like you have to be confident enough that you could just ignore all of the distractions.
It's like going to your job. It's like going to your slave job.
All you're doing is,
you're gonna have to, when you go to your slave job, you're gonna have to deal with so much shit when you go to work and you work just to earn money. It's just like that, you're gonna be dealing with this, but you're gonna learn how to deal with this, and then it's just gonna become like your job, so to say, to deal with these people.
Right. So, knowledge is power. Okay. This is a test. Okay. You're constantly going to be distracted by their obnoxious phone calls, all of the letters that come to your mailbox. And I literally ignored all of it. I don't react to letters. I don't respond to their letters. I didn't even give them the opportunity to speak with me, because why? What are they going to say? They're not going You don't need to argue with them.
Mm-mm.
You literally just need to keep doing this over and over and over again, because they will not stop sending you bills. It will be like you're never going to stop getting that bill. So guess what? Now you're going to keep track of them, and now they owe you. Because you did it lawfully. You did it by the book. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the credit card companies that I'm dealing with, they just recently reset the balance back to zero. It was a $5,000 amount that was allowed to me. It was a loan. You know, credit cards are loans. So I had a $5,000 credit card, and they reset it back to zero. And I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's working, right? They just reset this back to zero, and basically I could use it again.
Right.
Okay. And the same time, I got a check in the mail from the same credit card. I got a check in the mail for $59.
Whoa.
I'm like, where's this $59 coming from? What is this all about?
Right. That is crazy.
So I looked at the account online, and I realized that the $59 was all of the fines that they had assigned to this account because they were not receiving money, and they had put late fees all over the account. But they had to reset it back to zero, so they had a $59 credit. They decided to cash it out, send me a check. So I got a check in the mail for $59, and at the same time, that credit card was reset from all the way up to $5,000, was reset back to zero. So what just happened here? I just created $59 out of thin air, and I got the $5,000.
Okay.
Can you even believe that?
No.
That happened?
No. That's, yeah. Like you said, all kinds of other crazy stuff was happening too there prior. Like
So,
you said, yeah, it's insanity.
So-
like you definitely like caused a major ripple into the system. Like it sounds.
right. Like they didn't like what they were getting, so they I think what they were thinking, the thought pattern was, let's reset this back to zero so we stop receiving her letters, and because they're operating with financials, everything has to balance out. They can't have a plus or a minus there. It all has to balance out. They have to balance their books. So because there was a $59 excessive amount, they sent me a check.
Wow.
They actually sent me money.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. So
yeah, where does it come from? Like,
So,
I'm sure you're blown away. I'm blown away too by it. That's pretty crazy. It's not something you hear about every day.
This money was created.
Yeah.
This money was created. Now think back to the whole system. You know, I'm basically rejecting time and money, and I'm telling them that I know how the system works because I'm doing accepted for value, and I'm not giving up, even though they want me to, or you know, the computer wants me to.
Yeah.
Because why? Because they don't have a way to decode this. They don't operate this way, right?
No, they don't. They have no blood to
They're not
spill.
used to this. So when I got that $59 check, the first thing I could think, right, you're dealing with a dead entity, okay? And I was trying to figure out, what do I do with this $59 check? This is like a miracle amount of money that just came in my name. It's in a check format. And what am I going to do? What's the best thing I can do with this? And I thought I could use it and buy things with it, or better yet, I could take it, I could walk over to the bank across the street and open up a checking account, because all you need is $25 to open up a checking account.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know what? I'm going to put it right back into their system. Okay? I'm going to put it right back in there.
Right.
Because this came from the same place. And they're going to gobble it up. And that's exactly what they did. I opened up a checking account. You know, it costs like $10 every month. They charge you $10 every month just to have a checking account. So I'm really not going to see any of this money. But that's not the point.
Right.
The point was I put this money that was created, okay? It was created because you started out with a loan, which is debt. And now they sent me a $59 check. I mean, It's like I put this money that was created right back into the bank.
Yeah.
And I opened up a checking account. And so now that money is just, you know, sitting over there. And I'm not going to touch it. I really don't care. You know, it's like basically, I'm sure it's having an impact, just the signature, the energy associated with this rejection of time and money is literally sitting right there in one of their accounts, and they don't even know what's going on.
Wow.
It's a monkey wrench right in their bank.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's sounds like a freaking curveball.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's cool, Lindsay. Well, I appreciate you sharing this, and I guess we can probably, you know, put a cap on this conversation for now. Maybe we could talk about more about it later, but I appreciate it, you know, you coming in, and we can keep up maybe our Bloody Sunday chats here we got going on, because, you know, we're pretty busy all the time, and it's a good thing we keep in contact, though, and can get this kind of information out there. We're here to share this information, and hopefully people catch on to what we're sharing, you know?
I just want people to realize that, you know, when we're working and we're tired, and there's not enough time, and there's never enough money.
Right, give yourself a break.
And that's a trap. That cycle right there is a trap. But we still need access to resources. We still need all these things. So we have to gain control of time and money just from our own personal standpoint. Right. Because the most selfless thing you can do for the collective consciousness, for all, is to just empower yourself.
Okay.
Empower yourself to do things that get you back on your feet. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to get rid of time and money. This is just simply one way.
Yeah.
And this is what I have done. There's probably a dozen ways you could do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear other versions of it.
Yeah.
But this is based on my experience and what I was dealing with at the time.
But it's worked for you.
I will keep you up to
good to
date
hear.
with the ongoings of it, how it is changing literally.
Yeah, it's just something people can dwell on, at least, you know, for the time being. At least this is something they can dwell on and think about. I mean, it's not every day you're going to come into contact with this kind of shit, you know.
Yeah, if anything, like research everything.
Exactly.
You know, and let me give you. So let me just show you an example of this real quick, Dan. I know you're tired.
No, I'm fine.
There,
I'm good. Yeah, you have all my time. You're good.
This is a letter I got from a corporation. This is a letter I got from a credit card company. It's actually called Synchrony Bank. Okay, that's pretty interesting right there.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of Florida. Okay. And this is a corporation, all capital letters, and it's communicating with this corporation. All capital letters. Okay.
Your
this is a corporation. That's actually my name in all capital letters. And here it is again. Right? So these two corporations, this is one corporation having a conversation with another. You might look at this piece of mail and say, hey, I got some mail. And you got to be careful. Are you going to attach yourself to the dead corporation, which is your name in all capital letters? You know? So you've got to really start looking at what what the impact the corporation has on you, because it applies to you in your name, everyone.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
cool.
and whenever you
That you can show
your,
that kind of light on there. Yeah.
payroll to your employer, it's all capital letters. Taxes.
When I go in
are all
and clock
capital
in for
letters.
work, I got to
And
put
what
in
is that?
my capital
It's a
letters.
dead-
Yeah. Every time I clock into work, I was saying, Lindsay, they have me put in all my capital letters, you know, when I clock in for work. In and out.
And there's a reason for that, because you need to know that that is a dead corporation, and it's telling you it's dead by the very word. Corporation has the word corpse in it. Okay. And a corporation has no blood to spill. And corporations usually assume a corporation is essentially a large company, but it can also be a city, it can be the county, it can be the state, it can be your own country. Okay. A lot of countries have incorporated, which means, I mean, everything's telling you it's essentially all coming out of this global reality.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, people don't see it though, but this is what they've put into. This is what they made us all believe in.
Well, I mean,
right. They try to make us believe the lies, but the lies don't ever win. The truth wins. If you really want the truth.
Well, and it's constant. You're going to be faced with constant pressure and constant distractions, which are trying to stop you from doing what you're doing, and it may challenge you at some portions, but you know, you've got to recognize that's the way the system. That's how you pull yourself out of any system, and it doesn't like it when you wake up. It doesn't like it when you realize you're not dead. You're not a zombie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because that's how it's treating you. You know, that's how it's seeing you as. That's how it's telling us it is. You know, that's why we're doing it this way now, because this is the whole reverse of that, right? But yeah, I thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for your time. And I mean, we'll probably end this video for now. And I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And everybody can get to Lindsay's channel.
Thanks,
I just want to let everybody know they can get to your channel. It's the Mother Goddess channel on YouTube. Get to Lindsay's channel and, you know, check her out. All right, we'll end the video.